News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
The $60,000 kiss. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Thursday, March the 5th, 2015. Right now we have a clear sky, 19 degrees in Missoula. And our newscast this morning sponsored by Boot Barn, celebrating everyday heroes who work hard for their families with big savings on work apparel and boots. Our top story this morning, Missoula County recently settled a discrimination and right to privacy claim involving allegations made by Deputy Rebecca Burkett with the Missoula County Sheriff's Office from events that occurred last year while Carl Ibsen was sheriff. Current Missoula County Sheriff T.J. McDermott said yesterday that the settlement will include specialized training for his staff.
This settlement corrects some problems that occurred last year. I think it's a good settlement, and part of the settlement is some training in the area of discrimination and right to privacy of employees.
McDermott says the department has contacted high-profile sources for that training.
The National Coalition Building Institute has been mentioned, as well as some former Supreme Court justices that are experts or have the ability to bring in experts in these topics to provide training to the members of our agency.
KGVO News has confirmed with Great Falls attorney John Kutzman that the case in question did involve allegations of gender discrimination against the department made by Deputy Rebecca Burkett over a kiss that occurred with another off-duty deputy. The settlement was for $60,000. Burkett is still employed by the Missoula County Sheriff's Department. A federal judge has confirmed a bankruptcy reorganization plan for the Roman Catholic Diocese of Helena that calls for almost $20 million in payments to hundreds of victims of clergy sex abuse. U.S. bankruptcy judge Terry Myers approved the plan during a Wednesday court hearing in Coeur d'Alene. Abuse claims from more than 360 victims will now go through an adjudication process to determine final payment amounts. Each will receive a minimum of $2,500, and a trust will be established for victims who come forward in the future. The abuse began in the 1930s and continued through the 1970s, mostly in the Ursuline Academy and the St. Ignatius Mission at St. Ignatius, Montana. A Ravalli County man accused of kidnapping, brutally raping, and injecting a young girl with methamphetamine over several days in February could possibly face the death penalty. 32-year-old Byron Craig Hall was arraigned in Ravalli County District Court yesterday on charges of aggravated kidnapping, rape, aggravated assault, and child criminal endangerment. Ravalli County Attorney Bill Fulbright says the aggravated kidnapping charge could carry the maximum penalty.
He is presently charged. One of the crimes is aggravated kidnapping. That crime is punishable by maximum possible penalties of either death, life imprisonment, or up to 100 years, minimum 2 years.
Fulbright says the investigation into the Hall case is ongoing, and his next court appearance will be an omnibus hearing March 25th.
We actually have 60 days from today then to make a decision as to whether that is a case in which we seek the death penalty or not. But at the time of arraignment, he has to have the notice of what the possible maximum penalties are.
Fulbright said Hall is in the Ravalli County Jail on $750,000 bail. However, he's being held without bond on a fugitive warrant. A Republican lawmaker in Montana wants to require doctors to be there when women take abortion-inducing medication. Representative Keith Regier of Kalispell is sponsoring the bill, which would ban and make it a crime for medical practitioners to administer pregnancy-ending medication through telemedicine. He says the bill is about keeping patients safe. However, Martha Stahl with Planned Parenthood of Montana said the bill is actually about restricting abortions in a large state where telemedicine could increase patient access. A police blockade caused a disruption in traffic on 23rd Street yesterday. Missoula Public Information Officer Travis Welsh says a woman on Foothills Drive called authorities with concerns that her husband might be suicidal and might have had a weapon.
We had a report of a man who is potentially suicidal in the area of 23rd and Foothills. We're conducting efforts to try to make contact with the man and see if we can offer him assistance or if he'll accept resources from us. We're told that he does possess weapons. We don't know if he's a danger to anybody else at this point. We're still trying to assess. But we have closed off 23rd Street around the Foothills area, and we would ask that people try to avoid that if possible.
The blockade lasted about 2 hours. Welsh said police decided to open the road at 1:30 after deciding the man was not a threat to the public or himself. A federal judge has ordered settlement talks to resolve a legal dispute in which former Montana Governor Brian Schweitzer and others are seeking $10 million in compensation over some condemned mining claims. Attorneys representing Schweitzer and others who owned the claims requested the March 25th settlement conference. The move came after District Judge Dana Christensen issued an order last week shooting down arguments central to their compensation assertions. The U.S. Senate couldn't muster enough votes to override President Obama's veto of the Keystone XL pipeline yesterday. Senator Steve Daines tried to rally votes, accusing the president of political gamesmanship.
The president is standing in the way of jobs. He's standing in the way of affordable energy. He's standing in the way of our nation's energy security. His recent veto threat, and now carrying through with the veto, sent a clear message that he's more concerned with political games than increasing opportunity for the American people.
When the Senate failed to override the veto, Daines issued a statement saying he was disappointed and he would keep pressure on the Obama administration to approve the pipeline and fight for American jobs. For the first time in 11 years, Missoula is hosting a state high school basketball tournament that's getting underway today. The state Class C tournament this morning gets underway with 8 teams represented. Executive Director of the Adams Center on the UM campus, Brad Murphy, explains how the tournament came to Missoula after such a long drought.
A big factor is that TBID, the Tourism Business Improvement District, now has funds available for us to go out as a city and bid sporting events to come to our city at a zero bid level, meaning that they cover the costs of bringing those events here.
Murphy said in the case of Class C teams, oftentimes entire communities hit the road and travel hundreds of miles to support their teams.
The town of Circle is coming, and I talked to their athletic director yesterday, and he said, I don't know if we have anybody left that can even turn the lights on. So, I mean, and those people, when you come from Circle, Montana to Missoula, you are going to go shopping and you're going to do it because those people don't have these opportunities.
First game starts at 12:30. It'll be Circle versus Broadview Lavina. And the games continue all this evening and then through Saturday. Volunteers are still needed, by the way, as ushers to welcome fans. If you'd like to volunteer, call 243-5355. Our Newstalk time is 6:10.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Look for a mix of sun and clouds today with our highs topping out in the upper 40s. Wind will be out of the west at 3 to 6 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy tonight with our lows in the upper 20s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.